Name Justin Jovanovski, Diploma in Nutrition, Non-Clinical Advisor. The video 2. Hey Josh, how you going, buddy? How are you? Exit, please.
I just brought this in for you.
Yeah.
My food diary.
Oh yeah, no worries. No, I'm good.
Eating and things.
How you been anyway? Good?
Yeah, all good, man.
That's good. What I'm going to do, man, I can't make up diets for you now. That's not part of my qualification, but I'm going to advise some stuff, some tactics, for dieting, and like in your case, for like
I just want to build muscle.
build muscle and strength and endurance. Yeah. No worries. I'll explain to you some things, and then if you want, you can write it down, take some advice, and then I'm not going to refer you to like someone else. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you're a soccer player, right? Yeah. Endurance athlete. Yeah. The main thing is with diet. Like dieting, nutrition, like the right nutrition, it benefits your training performance, assists in muscle recovery. That's obviously the protein, like protein and carbohydrate combination. Supports in like metabolic adaptation as well to exercise. So nutrition is important. It plays a big deal in all that. It plays a big deal in repairing muscle. It plays a big deal in performance. Obviously, performance comes more from the source of carbohydrates. That's the most important source of carbohydrates. But protein comes with the repair and the muscle gain. As well at the same time, fats as well come with energy as well. They're stored as well, in this case, for performance, predominantly. Pretty much training for competition, like your energy requirements, obviously playing soccer or training in general, you're gonna need more. So in comparison to someone who's obviously not training the same way you're doing, like vigorous exercises, they're going to need a lot less, right? But you need more. So you're going to need more, obviously, carbohydrates. You're going to need more protein to assist in muscle growth, repair, and you'll need more fat as well, in general. But I'll explain all that to you anyway.
So if I want to repair muscle quicker, I need a lot of protein.
Protein, preferably. I'll explain that to you as well. I'll go in segments. I'll explain exactly what you need. Like I'll explain the benefits of carbohydrates, of protein, of micronutrients as well. Micronutrients I'll explain them to you. They're more vitamins and minerals. So they're more so like the vitamin B groups, calcium groups, and all that. The vitamin D as well. But like at the same time, they come under magnesium as well at the same time as iron and all that as well, and zinc. But macronutrients, they're the big ones. They're like carbohydrates. Your big stuff are carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Yeah. So to sustain the right amount, you need to go in balance with your energy output. So how you have with your output, you need to take in as well to balance it. If you go less or go more or exceed more, obviously it's gonna be more so like not beneficial as well, like not so great for you. Yeah, so if you're going underneath it, it's not good. Yeah, it's going to vary for people, like I mentioned. Like obviously people that don't like it comes in like with activities. There's sedentary activities, so they're people that like just don't do much at all. They involve in sort of like lying down, no energy at all. So no exercise at all. Then there's people who perform light activities like obviously like moving around the house, like a workplace, going to work, moving things and stuff like that. So, like obviously, they're going to vary as well in energy and nutrition consumption. Same time as well, like there's people as well who perform like moderate activities. So they're more so like a social sort of outlet. So more so like playing tennis, but can talk at the same time and play sports. And then there's people in your case like an endurance athlete, a soccer player. A soccer player like a professional person who is known as vigorous activities. So you're going to need a lot more like carbohydrates, macronutrients, and a lot more micronutrients as well. And it's going to vary for people. And preferably these sources too, if you want to like write this down, it's important. And I mention this quite a lot too. Ideally, it's good to get the essential nutrients you need from the 5 food groups. So grains, lean meats, and poultry, dairy, predominantly low fat dairy, low saturated fat dairy, vegetables and fruit. So I'll go in detail more with that food for you.
Any specific vegetables and fruit?
Well, the main thing is really the vegetables. Really like obviously there's your carrots, cucumbers, tomatoes, like corn. Same time as well, there's potatoes. They're good as well. A good carbohydrate source too. And then for food as well, just anything, yeah, I like to eat all bananas, apples, oranges and that, yeah. But as well, you can go from grain as well, so grain foods can involve like nuts and seeds, obviously, and breads, obviously, more predominantly like whole grain breads, legumes and beans as well. There's also like cheese alternatives as well, like good dairy, cheese and milk. Yeah, provide a lot. And yeah, and lean meats like salmon, chicken, turkey, but I'll explain more as well. I'll go in the segments for you. Yeah. But yeah, it's important, you got to meet your energy balance. So you got to meet your energy. So a good piece of advice I can hand to you is you got to meet your energy output. So the energy expenditure, known as what you're putting out, you got to put in to keep energy balance. From the healthy range too, for not just the balance for performance, but for your health too. So it's important as well. You can get this intake. Total energy comes from food, obviously. It can come from supplements too. Fluid as well. They all got to match your energy output. It needs to match. So with the daily activity, So yeah, you're training soccer or like weightlifting, yeah. The energy requirements, like I mentioned as well, they vary between people. Obviously, the people got a different like body size, composition, like an energy, like goals and training. So it's going to vary as well. Like in that case, athletes need to consume enough energy to maintain appropriate weight and body composition while training for a sport. That's important too. Not having enough energy intake can relate to poor performance and neutralising of like muscle gain and recovery. So, like obviously the protein's not coming in, carbohydrates aren't coming in. You're not storing enough like glycogen and like storing enough energy. So you're not using enough. You don't have much. Your hips fatigue can't perform as well, and you can't recover because the protein's small. So it's just not great for your health and your performance and your recovery really. Anyway, so it's important to add everything in there, like all your macronutrients and your micronutrients. And they come from the five food groups. I'll explain in detail as well what you need, like carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are known, they're the first and foremost fuel for exercise really. So this is where it comes in, the exercise this is where, for performance, carbohydrates, that's their specific role. So do fats as well, but carbohydrates, this is their role. Their role is for exercise, and only exercise really. It's great for obviously endurance type exercise, length and high intensity training, weight training, whatever it is, it's great for that. And that's main purposely for like carbohydrates, what really goes on in detail, it's what it does, the body stores the amount of carbohydrates like a glycogen inside the liver and the muscle cell as well. And this is then broken down in order to release single molecules of glucose. So in this case now, in this circulation here, that's what happens there. And in this circulation, obviously the process, glucose is then pushed and uptaken by muscles, where it is converted to adenosine triphosphate, which is ATP in general terms. And this is pretty much what stimulates the contraction of the muscles, the performance. That is the energy there. It's ATP. And it also fights off the fatigue and it provides the energy, the glycogen stores. Consumption of reasonable amounts of dietary carbohydrates prior to intense exercise or training is known as carb loading. So 3 or 4 hours prior to training, whether you're playing soccer or you're doing weight training for soccer obviously, or like endurance training, carb loading 3 or 4 hours prior delivers what I just told you scientifically. So it all gets like from glycogen, glucose broken down, taken up by the muscles, then taken into the energy source, and then taken out.
Carb load.
ATP carb load. 3 to 4 hours before predominantly, to avoid obviously like sickness and that. But that's what happens there. But it's really used obviously for glycogen storage. So the energy use. It's a tactic they use, like most athletes use this to enhance their performance and increase the glycogen stores for the same reason, obviously. This should match your daily activity, really, right? So it needs to match for instance, your intensity, the frequency, and the duration of your training. So you need to feel like, you need to come out feeling like what you put out, you put in, and it's worked well. You maximise your performance, as well at the same time, you've done the right thing to the point where you've come out alright, like you're not tired, you're not fatigued, you've still got the energy you need, maximise performance. Now, the main source of carbohydrates, to do this, I prefer you tonight, because carbohydrates you can get from a lot of things, obviously like commercial burgers, from fast food takeout, fried food, this and that, but I prefer you get the sources from my advice, the carb sources from like, preferably whole grain, whole meal, not refined, because whole meal really, what that supplies more nutrients and the macronutrients, and the micronutrients, like nutrients as well, so more vitamins and minerals and that.
Pasta, yeah?
Yeah, pasta's good. Whole grain preferably.
Okay.
So whole meal or whole grain, and that can include obviously like I mentioned, pasta, rice.
I normally eat pasta before I play.
That's actually, that's great. It's carb loading, which is good. Cereals, breads, and as well at the same time, not from grains, fruits and vegetables as well. Great sources too. So that's carbohydrates there.
Yep.
Any questions at all there?
Sweet.
Nice, sweet. And then there's protein as well, which protein, its major role and function is not really to perform a carbohydrate.
Yeah.
What that really does is muscle repair, muscle growth, muscle production. That's what that does there. Preferably, like I suggest really, the main thing with this, because its main role is to synthesize muscle, really, and increase muscle, it's good to have it preferably in the morning, right after you sleep, because you're fasting at night.
Yep.
So it's like have it in the morning, whether it can be like supplementation, obviously, you can like take supplements. It can be obviously the food source, so it can be like the egg whites or whatever, or whatever it is. Like in the morning, it's good there. Also at the same time, post-training, essential. In the morning and post-training, protein is essential there. Especially post-training, because while you're training, your muscle's not really in the mode of actually repairing and building. It's just tearing down. So right then you don't need a protein then obviously. But post-training is when it's most active, when muscle synthesis increases beyond its normal rate. So that's when you need really the big protein source there. And it's good to have it with a combination of carbohydrate. The reason why as well is because you want the protein to perform a specific role, not perform its role of trying to gain energy, but its role to like repair muscle, recover muscle, rebuild muscle, and grow muscle really. The fuel source really, like obviously the fuel source is provided from carbon, fat sources, right? But protein can be used if carb reserve, like a carb reserve. If your carb intake is low and you're not getting the right amount of carb intake, the body starts to use what's next, which is protein. Protein it's not really its appropriate role. So really, you should have the adequate amount of protein. Protein and carbohydrates, together, combination. Low protein contributes really, like if carbs are low, protein contributes to just 10% of the energy during performance, so which is quite small. It's only 10% of what it can be. So carbohydrates important, but obviously the role of fuel, and protein is the main important role of recovery and rebuild. So carb intake as well at the same time, it's essential for preserving protein. So you need a combination of both. That's why it's good. You'll see a lot of supplementation. They've got carb and protein together at the same time. So they all perform their role. They help each other. The nutrients help each other work.
They complement
each other, exactly, like if the result become low carbohydrates, obviously protein will be broken down and used the same way. Like glucose then broken from glycogen to glucose, then chew on like energy source. ATP. But the only thing is, it's not its specific role. That's the carbohydrates role. The specific role, obviously, for protein, like I mentioned again, repair, recovery, production of muscle. High protein diet has been believed by all athletes in general, like endurance athletes, strength athletes, whomever it is. That protein, it assists, obviously, the recovery process, supports gains in muscle size and function as well. But obviously, it's going to vary between people, like I mentioned before, because there's people doing different types of exercise. So you're vigorous type of exercise, right? You're performing a lot. So you're going to need a lot more than somebody who sits in the office all day, sedentary person does, or light activity person. So you will need a lot more, obviously carbohydrates, obviously protein to assist in your energy output. If that makes sense. The function really comes from the function. The focus here, like the food groups I would use. See, protein as well you can get protein from obviously greasy meats, stuff like that, and again fried chicken, stuff like that. But the only thing is, for your overall health, it's just not good for your overall health, really. The best way to get protein, my advice, the best way really is like to focus on incorporating a wide variety of lean meats. So in this case, like high quality lean meats, protein foods like chicken, turkey, beef, lamb, pork, fish, which can include like salmon or trout or whatever like that, or like even swordfish or even prawns, great source of protein. Then without like meat in general, there's eggs, there's dairy, foods, nuts and seeds. Those are a great source of protein. And they're healthy for you too. They provide the adequate like amounts, not just the macronutrient, but the adequate amounts of micronutrients.
Okay.
So the vitamins, minerals, like the iron, zinc.
I sometimes eat eggs before sort of I play, but is there any way I should specifically cook them?
Protein can be used. Protein is good. Just the way to cook it.
Yeah.
You get the sauce.
Yeah.
Like the sauce comes from anyway. Yeah, it comes from whether it's fried, boiled, or in general, whatever it is, it's all the same. Yeah, the same sauce. Like if you have it raw, it's just the same sauce. Yeah. And if you don't like meat, for example, you're a vegetarian. See, plant foods are good. So plant foods are like legumes, like obviously like corn, rice, and wheat and that. But they miss sometimes the essential like amino acids, and they miss certain like micronutrients.
Yeah.
So for most people who don't like meat or are vegetarian, probably not in your case anyway. But just to explain it, they got to take more like analysis on their diet. So like they got to look, all right, I can't eat meat. Now I'm missing out because meat products provide a lot of iron and zinc, and they're micronutrients. And as well as the macronutrients too, they supply a lot and assist a lot in the protein supplement there. But like the plant foods don't give as much micronutrients, so a lot less amino acids, a lot less micronutrients too, like zinc and iron and that. So the best thing is people got to look at like, all right, can't have meat, time to study, and realize, all right, then I've got to incorporate some dairy products, some eggs, stuff like that. So just got to like more on the like analysis, protein should be eaten like obviously like I mentioned to you before in the morning predominantly. In the morning is great. Also at the same time, like right after training, in my opinion, that's essential. Like right after training, that's when the muscle really repairing and it's the best time to really supply with what you can to recover like efficiently and quicker, efficiently, just all that. It's good as well to spread it out through meals. So it's good to have a source of protein, right, with every meal you have. So that can be as well, like egg whites, it can be spinach sauce, it can be like a little sauce of turkey or chicken as well. With every meal you have, that's great as well. It speeds up the recovery process. It works efficiently too.
I know some people have their protein with milk and others with water. What's better?
Well, predominantly with water is better. The reason why is with full cream milk is a lot of saturated fat, really, so it's a lot coming in at once. But with water, it's a lot better. It's cleaner.
Body
quicker, yeah. And it's overall, it's healthier in general.
So water is better.
Water is better, yeah.
Okay.
It's good to have it throughout the day, as well. Like we need it, yeah. And you're encouraged to have it, yeah. Like small serves as well. Your daily intake for like an athlete, endurance athlete like yourself, between 84 to 98 grams of protein a day. So a scale can come in handy for that if you wanted to, obviously. But that's how much it really comes in, yeah. Like I mentioned before, the sources, the best sources, like I told you before, like milk, can come from milk. Yeah. Predominantly reduced fat milk, saturated fat. Lean chicken, lean fish, like salmon is included as well. Like
Skim milk?
Skim milk can be a good source too, but there's also reduced fat milk you can see as well. But skim milk's a good source too. There's meat, like obviously meat can include like lean meats like turkey and that as well, and also like steak as well. Reduced fat cheese, like grilled fish as well, having grilled things rather than fried things for your health in general. Tuna, salmon, reduced fat yogurt, wholemeal, like wholemeal is a lot better than refined. So wholemeal bread, whole grain and wholemeal cereal, cooked pasta like wholemeal as well, cooked rice, lentils, kidney beans as well, great sources there from beans. From baked beans too, from tofu, nuts and seeds and more as well. But those are the main groups there. They're good foods there, yeah. So that's protein. Any questions there at all? No, all good. That's cool, yeah. So to sum it up in general, carbs is your fuel source. Protein is the recovery, and that's their role they play really. And carb loading 3 or 4 hours out, best way before an event, a big event or training in general. Protein predominantly right after training, it's the most efficient. It works it performs the role, like
Yeah.
that's its role.
Yeah.
And it works efficiently. Then there's fats as well, which can contribute as well. They should be contributed like a natural part of every athlete's diet as well, and should not be avoided too. Fats are needed in the body for what they do. Pretty much is they're like insulation as well. They protect the vital organs. They're used as fuel. That's another big thing as well. They're like carbohydrates, so they use as fuel too, and synthesize hormones too. So they play that role there. They synthesize hormones too. As well at the same time, depending on the athlete, depending on the person, the individual, it depends. It's going to vary how much they need, really, right? There's recommended amount, which I'll explain to you as well, of what people need daily. But with an athlete like yourself, you'll need more than obviously again, like I mentioned, to somebody who's not performing like much exercise or performing smaller activities than you get. My advice as well with this, like at the same time, choose the unsaturated fats from saturated fats. So like unsaturated fats come from more stuff like olive oil, like avocados, fish as well. They come from all that, from seeds and nuts. And where the saturated fats come from as well, it comes from like obviously again fried foods like fried chicken, now like KFC. It can come from like commercial burgers, so from takeout pretty much. That's where that saturated fat comes from there. It can also come from a lot of other things too, but those are where it really comes from there. Yeah, so it's best to have unsaturated fats to work with it. Yeah. Generally, it's like athletes need about 20 to 25% for fat as like a daily intake. So once again, saturated fats, they're commonly worked with, like they've got some consequences, some health consequences like heart disease, stuff like that. And like as well at the same time, like Australia's become one of the most fattiest nations like in the world really.
Yeah.
With 40 million people and more becoming like obese and overweight. Yeah, so it's pretty big at the moment. And the last 20 years, it's actually exceeded more. So 5 million and more exceeded the 5 million. And which is not good, but it's the same reason, like just because I think to elaborate really with takeout and saturated fatty foods and high sodium foods and high sugar foods and drinks and beverages as well, they're really accessible. It's easy, they're cheap too, and it's easy. It's convenient. That's right. Yeah, a lot less time consuming.
Yeah.
38,000 people from Australia and New Zealand die every year from heart related diseases. Yeah, so yeah, it's a big thing there. The reason why is always time consuming. Like to study as well, to look and cook and organise.
Yeah.
Especially with working the way, obviously you got to work, train, you got to do all that too, and people got to do that as well. And it's just time consuming for them. And they've got no time. My advice really is to wake up earlier or go to bed later, study more, have time to study more, make time for it, because in the long run it's going to be a lot more. It's better for you and beneficial in the long run. Yeah, a lot better for you, and then instead of getting a consequence like heart disease or obesity or something like that. Yeah, that's important too. But it's easy for everyone now. Takeout is easy, like it's everywhere now. Like coming home from work, and people work longer now. People want to socialise too at the same time, so they've got no time really. To look and study and analyse and have a look through the food groups and what's like healthy for me or what's not, this and that. Yeah. And now as well. Fat. Was that clear to you? Like as well? So fat, summarize it up too. It's a good source as well. Another good source, predominantly unsaturated fat, so like polyunsaturated fat, predominantly. It's a good source for fuel too. It plays a role for fuel too. Yeah. Then there's micronutrients too. Micronutrients, they're such things like vitamins and minerals. They're needed in small amounts really, and they're vital in like supporting general health, growth and energy levels too. So they do play a role too, They play a role obviously, like their role they play in muscle contractions, the energy too, and also like the immune system and function too. So they help out like the immune system as well. So to prevent you from obviously like sickness and losing that too. As well at the same time, they also help in recovering like muscle tissue. They also help in recovering from injury as well. So they play a big role there. Not consuming enough micronutrients, so vitamins, minerals, can gain low energy and severe weight loss too. So some bad things there, yeah. They include really calcium, vitamin D, the B vitamins, iron, zinc, magnesium, they're included in that group there. They're micronutrients. So micronutrients are those, and macronutrients are the big ones. So carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Yeah, really. A well-balanced diet and carefully planned, like a planned diet, meets the micronutrient needs for general health, really. So if you're going to eat, for example, from the 5 food groups, which I'll suggest, like I mentioned before, grain, and vegetables, and fruit, lean meat, and dairy, which I'll explain later on too. If you're going to eat from them and have the recommended source, and even a bit more, you'll get the micronutrients you need from those macronutrient foods there. So from like lean meat, from dairy, and they'll come in. Yeah. So the micronutrients are important for that. Yeah, they're important for as well. They assist in everything too. They help out there. Any questions there at all? Or cool. Then also at the same time as fluids too. So fluids come in handy too. Like obviously through the body loses it loses water through general like respiration, urination, sweating obviously through exercise. So during exercise obviously you would know sweat rates increase a lot more, just to try and maintain the body temperature. So what happens really is we're sweating, the body's trying to cool us down, but really what it's doing is it's producing water obviously, but it's making us kind of get more dehydrated, if you know what I'm saying. So you're getting more tired through respiration and like sweat. So what's going on is the athlete obviously like yourself, you need, this is when you got to keep hydrated. This is when you need the fluid you need. Obviously, having small amounts of fluid, not having enough fluid, obviously, can lead to like severe health issues too. But also at the same time, exceeding too much fluid can also lead to health issues too. So it's good to keep that amount that you need. So they say usually, you need about 2 to 3 liters of water a day, obviously. But sometimes go with your thirst, how much you need, obviously, because you're going to be in comparison. What's going to vary again between person to person, their lifestyle. You're going to need probably you will need more than the average person, obviously, because you're performing more exercises, more vigorous exercises, more intensity, and you're dehydrating yourself more, you're sweating more, and you're breathing more. So basically, that's your there. So if you're exceeding, it's a bad thing too. But just go with first. Just keep it the balance. It's all about balance, really. That's what nutrition really is about. If you're keeping with your energy expenditure, then it's perfect there. You're balancing it. If you can balance that, is perfect. So through sweat, really, heat is produced due to like increase. What happens is the muscles contracting from running or from training in the gym or whatever you're doing. The muscles are contracting, which they're providing the temperature, they're providing a lot of heat. So the body's starting to dehydrate and it's really heating up. So it's trying to cool itself down through sweat, obviously. That's what's happening there, and it's going through like a cooling process. But fluid's required there. Fluid. I'm also through detail through respiration, so through breathing. And as we exercise, oxygen requirements become more, so they increase, and the rate goes up, obviously, like the rate of breathing. And through this respiration, we lose fluid. The reason why is because I'm exhaling vapor. I'm exhaling the vapor, and we're becoming drier, obviously, so I'm more dehydrated, and that's when we need fluid there as well. That's why after a run, you feel kind of dehydrated, because that's happening. That process there through respiration. So water, in general, is necessary. Water, if you can write that down. My advice there. Basically, look, it plays a deal. There's a lot of factors to it, right? Genetics, obviously, there's some people there's some people they're bigger, they've got more fat, so in general, they're going to sweat more, they're going to get more dehydrated, they're going to breathe more because they're not as fit through genetics, that way. Then there's muscle mass, like a big bloke, compared to a skinny guy. Obviously, the big guy, especially doing certain types of training, because there's more muscle contraction, there's bigger muscle contraction, they're going to heat up and sweat more, obviously. So what's going to happen is they will need more fluid, obviously, as well. Then there's a level of fitness too in general. So a person who's more fit will obviously need less fluid than a person who's not as fit. Then there's the environment, obviously the heat. If you're training or working in a severe heat in comparison to the cold, the person in the heat obviously is going to need a lot more fluid, more muscle contraction, more sweating, more breathing as well. And also the intensity of the exercise too. If it's more intense, you breathe more, the oxygen rate goes up, you sweat more, and you need more fluid obviously there. So those are the factors that play an impact on the fluid recommendation during exercise as well. Like advice, well, my advice really, the main important thing, hydration is like important, but hydrate before you start the exercise. So before you start a training session, before you start an event, whatever it is, like a soccer game, hydrate prior. Make sure you're keeping your first, don't exceed the amount, because then you're going to get like stitched in that. But keep with the amount you need first, and keep hydrated.
When's it good to start? You know, I say if I play on the Saturday, should I start hydrating like 4 or?
Keep hydrating all of the day, I would say. So if you're going to start, if you're going to start more so in the day, like midday, start more so a few hours before in the morning, start there. But don't exceed, just have what you feel like to the point where you're not, like your mouth isn't dry, you just keep it to your first. That's my advice there. So start at a well-hydrated state, obviously. That's the most important. Yeah. As well, at the same time, drink with meals and snacks. So drink, like every meal, have a bit of water, predominantly water, keep up your thirst there. Keep with your thirst, like before. So whenever you're thirsty, make sure you're having a drink. Don't just go without a drink. Make sure you're having the fluids, water. You know, plain cool water is always the best. I only suggest plain cool water really. Reason being, plain cool water is because it's the best for you. It's cheap, and at the same time, it's cheap. It's easy. It's cheap. It's just tap water. It's a lot more easier to get as well. At the same time, if you do require taste, obviously, I would suggest having something a bit more natural, like lemon or lime, something along them lines there. It's the best way. If you want soft drinks or something like carbohydrate replenishment, that's having a sports drink. But predominantly, sports drinks are made for people who are like endurance athletes, really.
Do you mean like Red Bull and stuff?
More so, Red Bull, but more so Gatorade. They're carbohydrate replenishment. What that does there, because you're losing electrolytes, which electrolytes, you're losing sodium through sweat. That's the main, sodium is the main electrolyte, which you're losing. And also carbohydrates, so in general, like sugar, obviously you're losing and you're becoming more fatigued. You're losing electrolytes in general, just to sum them up. You need, because you're not keeping with the expenditure you're taking out, you've got to keep balance. So what you got to do, if you're training more than an hour, if it's something like endurance, so for example, you're going for a jog for example, for 1 hour and a half, right? When you get to that hour, obviously, your body's going to be losing electrolytes, so you need carbohydrate replenishment, right? And that's when the Gatorade comes in, just to keep you balanced, keep it up. That's the best way there. My advice there. The electrolytes really play a big role. They have a huge role really. What they do really, they having important roles in the body, including the regulation of fluid balance, like I mentioned, fluid balance, nerve transmission, and also helping with muscle contraction. So they're helping out. So through muscle contraction, it's some energy. They're helping out. You're becoming less fatigued in the muscle. So they're performing that. They're enhancing that too. Through skeletal and cardio muscles. So through both. Cardio is more like the heart, and skeletal is more like the muscles. That's there with carbohydrates. That's important to have, especially if you're exceeding, you're going over an hour. If you're going over an hour, carbohydrate replenishment is really essential. It's going to keep you balanced, and it's going to provide you with really, it's going to enhance your performance. And you want to perform, you've got to perform, especially playing sports, you've got to perform. So going over an hour, just keep in mind a Gatorade or a Powerade, just sports drink in general, they play a big role in performance enhancement there. As well at the same time, like I mentioned before, you need the 5 food groups, right? This is just for overall health there. Like I mentioned, do you have any questions at all, with anything else? There's all that for training, there's carbohydrate for fuel, there's fat, unsaturated fat, predominantly for fuel too. There's protein recovery, for muscle and repair for muscle too. Then there's electrolytes and fluid, obviously they play all their deals there, micronutrients as well. But as well at the same time, it's important, the recommendations, the 5 food groups you need daily as well. So you need, obviously, grains, you need, grains, lean meats, fruit, veggies, and dairy. So we need all that, and people, they're only having half the recommended amount you need daily, right? with vegetables, right, you need, between your age now, just on average, like just on a minimum, right, you need 6 servings of vegetables a day. 6 servings. A serving size is really, like you can say like a medium potato, it can be like a medium tomato as well. That's like a serving size, right? So you need 6 servings of that. It can also be used, a serving is also about 75 grams of like, it can be consumed as like also like cooked, you know, broccoli, spinach, carrots, 75 grams. That's when a scallop comes in handy too. 75 grams like a serve there. We need 6 servings a day, so that's for the overall health. That's like a male of your age. Yeah, that's how much you need. That's only the recommended minimum or minimum number. In your case as well, because you're an athlete, obviously, you'll need more obviously essential carbohydrates than the normal minimum required amount. But that there you can go with your like, feelings more so. So to keep with your expenditure, your output, you can feel like I'll need to keep with like I'll need this much here, you know, to get like to enhance my energy, yeah, or recovery too. Also, there's fruit as well. We need fruit. People they're only consuming about half, like in Australia, people are only consuming half the required amount. You need really not fruit juice or anything like that. Like that there's got a lot of added sugar and stuff like that, which isn't like great for heart and problems and that. Yeah, just health issues in general, obesity as well. But we need 2 servings. A serving really is like a medium pear, a medium apple, a medium banana as well. 2 servings of that. Obviously, that's only the minimum. You require more. So let's say, for example, prior to training, glucose that part of glucose is part of the carbohydrate, the macronutrient. You will need 3 or 4 hours out. It will be beneficial to have like a banana
before I play.
Yeah, before you play, a few hours out, because it's a carbohydrate and it's still classed as carb loading. So you will need more than the required minimum amount really. Basically as well, a serving size, yeah, it's just like a medium apple really. That's the best way to look at it. A medium apple, a medium banana, yeah. Also at the same time as well, there's eating grains too. Grains, mostly I prefer, like I mentioned to you before, whole grain rather than refined grain. It's been known to protect us against heart disease, stuff like type 2 diabetes, excessive weight gain, and also reduce some cancers. That's what it's been known to do as well. This is the grain. Wholemeal or whole grain, obviously, like I mentioned, is the preferable. Wholemeal or whole grain, even if it's bread or whatever it is, cereal, wholemeal, yeah, or pasta as well, wholemeal too, the reason why is because they provide us with more dietary fibre, vitamins and minerals, so, brackets micronutrients, than the refined grains. So they provide us just with more nutrients than the refined grains, which is like a lot better for us, Grain, it also at the same time speeds up our metabolism. It develops our body to work well and efficient too, especially during digestion. So it's really helping the body out too. Grain includes ready breads, cereals, rice, pasta, noodles, polenta, oats, quinoa, and much more too. So that's the main ones there. Yeah, let me write that down there. They're good foods there. That I'll also advise to you, like especially wholemeal or whole grain, with carbohydrate as well. Really, like as well at the same time, most Australians they're consuming less, like half the amount you actually need. We need as well your recommended amount. Like we need, what you need really, the minimum amount, the bare minimum is like 6 servings a day. And obviously again, because you're an athlete too, you can require more. They require some good carbohydrates and like fat sources too, so you can have more too. And to go with your balance. Yeah. So 6 servings there, and our serving size can be looked at just a slice of bread in general, 120 grams of cooked porridge, or 30 grams of wheat, like cereal flakes. Yeah. That's on a scale coming handy too. It's good to have a scale too, because it keeps you more organised too with foods. You know how much you're having. You know if you're not going to be exceeding the amount or going up underneath the amount. So it's good to have a scale. So the main thing is, I advise, instead of wholemeal, instead of refined grain, have wholemeal, whole grain, a lot better for you. Then there's lean meats as well, lean meats and poultry, which includes like fish, eggs, nuts, and seeds, and legumes and beans, and they provide us obviously with some important nutrients, like protein, obviously that's the macronutrient they provide with zinc and iron, and that another essential vitamins and minerals too. Like they provide us with all them those micronutrients inside the vitamin B group too. They are like mainly inside stuff like like fish and salmon, stuff like that. As well, at the same time, apparently, like regular consumption, apparently it lessens the risk of gaining heart disease, stroke, stuff like that. Diabetes as well. That's what they say too. The reason why as well, the eggs are like a great thing to have there as well because they're low cost and a lot of protein there, so it's a good source of macronutrient there. A lot of protein. Which protein has always been known, obviously, to really, with the adequate amount of training, obviously with training as well, to gain lean muscle, to lose stubborn fat. So that's the protein source is good there. And that's where lean meats comes great because they just supply us with a lot of great protein. And in your case as well, for being an athlete, these are the foods you've got to look at really for, like post-training, when you're in recovery mode. These are the foods you like, fish, salmon, lean like turkey and chicken and eggs. Yeah, they're great for you. Here you need about 3 servings in your case, like a melon. That's the minimum there. A serve size is roughly about 2 large eggs, 80 grams of lean chicken or turkey, or 100 grams of cooked fish, fillet fish, or 30 grams of nuts. So the scale comes in handy then again. And that's the lean meat group there, the food group there. Then as well, the dietary fiber. There's dairy as well, which include like milk and yogurt and cheese, and they're rich sources obviously of calcium, minerals and protein, and vitamins as well, including the B12 group there. Consumption of milk, yogurt and cheese in your case has been known to, as well at the same time, protect heart disease and stroke, may reduce the risk of high blood pressure, and may reduce the risk as well of type 2 diabetes as well. Great thing I suggest for you, unless you're lactose intolerant, which you're not obviously. They provide you with a lot of calcium, great for athletes, great for developing muscle too. Yeah. Same as a lot of protein too, and as well micronutrients, which enhance muscle growth, muscle stimulation, muscle recovery, repair, and performance too. Most Australians they need to consume half the recommended amount too, just of everything really they do, and with this as well with dairy. We need 2.5 serves roughly is about, really, it can be looked at really 250 mils of buttermilk, there, or 120 grams of ricotta cheese, or 200 grams of like yogurt, so Greek yogurt, or preferably Greek yogurt than an added sugar like yogurt, Greek yogurt supplies the main thing of protein of sort of like a source of fat, So that's the dairy group there. And obviously in your case as well, you can, because you're going to need obviously more protein, because vigorous exercises, you're going to need more, you can have more calcium than that minimum amount there. As well at the same time, like I mentioned as well with fluid, water is essential, just big time essential. I'll prefer you to have water because there's no kilojoules in water as well at the same time. It's the best for dehydration. It beats a lot of the energy drinks, a lot of those stuff there. If you're gaining with the energy drinks and Coca-Cola, soft drinks like that, there's a lot of added sugar, which can cause obviously just heart disease, obesity. Just for the overall health, water is the best way. Like I mentioned as well before, lemon and lime, if you do like a bit of flavour, lemon and lime is the best way, really. Now alcohol as well, I would say if you do limit the intake of alcohol, discretionary. That's known as discretionary, soft drinks, alcohol, just stuff like fast food, and sweets as well. And I can't say any more enough. Instead of saturated fats, unsaturated fats predominantly replace them there. There. And there's small ways as well to produce it. With salt, because high sodium, high saturated fat, high sugar is bad for our health, big time. I suggest, like I mentioned before, replace high fat saturated food with polyunsaturated fat.
What's the benefit of that?
Polyunsaturated fat is polyunsaturated fat comes from the good sources like avocados. It doesn't raise our blood pressure much, and we don't gain obesity as much too. It comes from like avocados, you know, like nut butter paste and all the spreads. And tips to eat less has saturated fat have, you know, like have more fish, legumes and beans, you know, more often because they fill you up too at the same time. So you try and prevent eating the saturated fats, such as deep fried foods and that. So don't deep fry foods. My suggestion: don't fry foods. Preferably instead try to grill foods or baked foods or steamed foods as well. A lot better for you, like in the long run as well. If you go to the pub or the bolo or wherever you are, if you order like a steak or a chicken or something, instead of getting chips on the side, because they're loaded as well with saturated fat and high sodium, to get like vegetables or salad or something like that, you know, or cucumbers, something like that. It's a lot better. Small things like that play a big deal too, you know. As well with pizza. Well, for example, you can eat pizza, yeah? If you like pizza, instead of topping up with, you know, like processed meat like salami, you know, like stuff like that, you know, like ham, stuff like that, or like cheese as well, which is high in saturated fat too. You know, replace it with vegetables, for example, like, you know, tomatoes, onions, or salad, and stuff like that, you know. That's another way to do it, you know. When you choose packaged foods, choose the ones reduced in fat or low in fat. None like huge thing too. If you do get a package, if you do buy products or similar, you know, it's like check the brand, like if the product, check the brands, if it's a product, and just check the nutrition label, check the one that's more, it's less in saturated fat, less in sodium, more beneficial really, yeah. So just always, like my advice, study and analyze, especially with the packaged food, you know. Salt as well, like limit the intake of, you know, like food and drinks containing salt, you know. Read labels with obviously, you know, lower like sodium options in that. Preferably replace it with pepper, herb or garlic. It's the best way there too. They're good ways to replace it, yeah. Limit the intake of salt, so obviously like I mentioned, processed meat, high salt, breakfast cereals, crisp breads, cheese, you know, canned stuff as well, high in sodium. Just careful, yeah, with that stuff. As well, try and force your body, you know, like for example, try and force your taste to really, like try and enjoy less of like sort of salty food, you know. So try and force yourself, train yourself to enjoy less, you know. Yeah, that's it there. And as well with sugar as well, like obviously chocolate jam, you know, like jam donuts, cakes, stuff like that. Energy drinks as well, sports drinks, depending on, in your case, you can have energy drinks and sports drinks in your case for the carbohydrate replenishment, but if you're not going to be training, you're not doing anything, they're really not great for us there. They're going to just store as fat really, because they're high in sugar, loaded with sugar. So if we're not going to use those stores, they're just going to store, we're not going to use them with the energy output. If the energy input's greater than the energy output, then yeah, we're in trouble there. It's going to store as fat, which is good too. And as well, the alcohol is a key question that really I reckon too. Yeah. Do you take any supplements, anything at all?
Just not supplements, some like training stuff, protein shakes.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, that's great too. I can't write your diet plan. I can't refer you to supplements, stuff like that. But what I can do, I can refer you to a qualified dietitian of my choice if you like. And if you want, you can take it from there within really.
Good.
Yeah, and they'll take you through like a diet, you know, appropriate diet plan that you can actually follow. So I can't actually provide you with one. I can only provide you with the advice like I've done now, obviously. But they'll supply you with the appropriate, you know, like the appropriate diet you need, like type of foods you can have. So I'll write that down for you.
Yeah, good.
And you can take it from there, you know.
Awesome.
You call him up and should be sweet there. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I hope you learned a bit today, with that. Yeah. That's good, yeah?
Cool. Good.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Sweet.
Thanks for that, bro.
Thank you.